Welcome to another podcast of Master Investors Company. Glad to be here with you again. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Our mission is to elevate the financial well-being of all of our partners, including the new ones that are coming in for the first time and getting to know who we are. We're going to bring the Master Investor out of each partner, ensuring that you get high-quality financial education made simple and get the tools that can instantly elevate the bottom line of your financial statement, which is the cash flow, the passive income. That's what gives ultimate freedom, all right? That's the holy grail. So today's theme is going to be called the 6 ways how to find investing money fast and easy from home. I'm going to leave the link below of the blog that is attached with this podcast title, all right, so that you can also read it. It's less than 8 minutes, and I suggest that you do, because when we hear it, read it, and then we take massive action on it, we get massive results. So we must change our attitude towards money, right? We have to find the money, and the way I believe we can do that is by first understanding basics and principles of the ultra wealthy. It is my belief that a lot of times people are afraid of investing because they often believe that they must use their own money. And that is far from the truth unless you're a very beginner, if you will, that thinks like that, because ultimately the entrepreneur's number one job is to raise capital. So it's to spend money that we don't have, if that makes sense. So we have to use other people's money, OPM, write it down, and OPT, other people's time. We must be able to control and take advantage of other people's time, right, and their passion, so that we can get where we want to financially. So the first way to immediately find money, right, and let me just point this out too before I get into the 6 ways that we can find the money, is that many people believe that let me see right here, 1 second. Let me find this because I made a note of it. Oh, that in our community here, we said that if you're using your own money, you have a low financial IQ. Your financial intelligence is not high enough to be creative enough to find the money that is everywhere, basically, because here at Master Investor, we understand that money is everywhere. That we, as a country, are over $17 trillion in debt nationally, and it's not going to stop. So the ultra wealthy, operates like the government does. If they're printing money, then we can also print money legally. And everything is done legally because there's no point of doing it legally if the goal ultimately is ultimate freedom. So, we're not going to be risking the smart master investors, right? Because there's only one type of master investor, is the inside investor, is someone that is ethical and legal when it comes down to business and understands how to read financial statements, how to raise capital, how to use debt, right, and to make more money. So how to use other people's money, the bank's money, and how to put a deal together legally and ensure we're building cash flow and positive passive income into our asset column, all done legally. There's no reason to encourage any illegal activities because it will risk the thing that we want the most, which is freedom, all right? So we're not going to be crazy people because it is not the way to do things. We have to do things the right way by law, because when ethics are in, then the technology goes in. We can advance and we can read something and we can take action because our ethics are in. Then we can understand the things that we are consuming and reading every day, which is a podcast like this. So let's keep our ethics in. And remember, Master Investor community is going to be here forever. I'm in the same journey as you. We're going to have more people as we get bigger coming into the podcast and talking about how to start, building more of your passive income, right? It's the bottom line that we focus here, because that's what breaks people away from the rat race, as they call it, and as we call it here at Master Investor, is basically, having a job, going there every day, doing the same thing over and over again, having a cap, a roof over your head, meaning that there's not really room for you to grow in your income. And if you need to grow, you have to take more responsibilities, meaning you have to have, less time for yourself and more things to take care of. And so it's a nightmare, right, come true, because you could have money in the bank, but you can't spend it because you only have 1 week a year or 2 weeks a year for vacation, and that's about it. So everything is watched, everything is observed. You have to ask for permission for this, for that. So if you're tired of that, then you landed on the right place. Welcome to our community. Glad to be here. And ensure that you subscribe to all of our platforms. Go to Instagram at Master Investor. Look for the logo, right? And we're the only one. And we're here to stay, to bring the Master Investor, to bring the good and bad news of money, the business principles that work in all economies. If you find this podcast valuable, then please share it with your friends and your partners, or who you think should maybe go into business with you, right? And it's always a treasure when we share the knowledge, but it does not become a treasure unless we go ahead and share it. So the first way to raise money quickly is family and friends. Now that we know that using other people's money to invest in real estate is a viable path, we may want to approach family or friends and ask them to invest with us. This is often people's first avenue to get funding outside of traditional banks, right? So the agreement goes a little something like this. We must be professional because we're doing business and we're doing things with other people's money, and it's important because people take that to the heart, as they should, because it's their hard-earned money. They work hard for that money, so they got sweats and time towards that money. So we cannot mismanage anybody's money, otherwise we're not gonna be long in business, right? So we have to put the time, and effort, and they will put up the money. That's the agreement, right? And we must let them know, right? Because a lot of times the family member do not have the time to know what a good investment is, know how to multiply their money better than the bank does, and so forth. So we can actually put a professional deal together and treat it just like any other bank would treat it. And we must be 100% professional. We have to get probably a lawyer involved, or somebody that can draft an agreement and so forth, and make it a 100% a legal document on paper. Never do business without signing a document on paper. We must have things in writing, and we always encourage here at Master Investor that you always follow up with your business calls, with anything that you do. Make sure you follow it up in writing with an email of the facts. Hey, we spoke about this about 10 minutes ago. I would like to follow it up with an email that points out what we talked about and discussed over the conversation we had in the phone. And so that way they can come back and say, hey, no, we didn't talk, I don't recall doing, and then they have a chance to either accept it and say, yeah, we talked about that sounds accurate, or they say, no, we never mentioned that. But it's important because that's how we cover ourselves, and what's written is true, right? So ensure you put things in writing. And also our dreams and our daily tasks, we have to put things on our daily planner. We have to have each hour taken and know exactly where each hour is going to be, right? Just like our money, we gotta know exactly which dollar is going where to make it work hard for us to bring more dollars back to us. So same thing with our time. We gotta invest time as if it is our money, because it is the most important asset we have. We can't buy time back, so we gotta invest every hour into self-development, and then financial education, and then assets, to acquire assets that produce cash flow. It's very important. Reach financial freedom, right? So and increase if you're already at financial freedom where you don't work for money and you just can be at home all day because you have several businesses that are working for you. And then increase more of that, because as an entrepreneur and investor, we never stop growing. So two things we must remember about: number one, family and friends. Treat our friends and family like investors, not people who love us and want to help us out. Be professional, use agreements, and do our best to give them a stellar return. In fact, before we get too far in our discussion, I'm going to leave the link below of the blog post so that you can read it. And also I have an article in there that you can also read it, and it's called, How to Keep Family and Friends Loans is Strictly Business. And it's a very good article written, so I believe it will positively impact you, right, if you're interested in going this route. B, because there are so many emotions involved with family and friends, we don't always recommend this route here at Master Investor. A strong relationship is not worth risking over an investment that may not perform. And as we can see below, investing money for beginners can come from several other places with fewer ramifications, right? So number two, right, the second way we can raise money is to do something called seller financing, also called as owner financing. As with a real estate property, the seller acts as the bank. We have a loan agreement with the seller that specifies the amount of the loan, the interest rate that we will pay the seller, and the length or the term of the loan. There are a number of reasons why a seller might choose this route. Maybe they are tired of the work required to operate the property, or perhaps they are looking for a steady return by collecting set interest on their money rather than rely on the fluctuations of the rental income or the business, the economy going up and down. It never hurts to ask if the seller is interested in this arrangement, and then the negotiation can begin from there straight with the seller without having to have the bank, because the seller becomes the bank. This is a very sophisticated way to do it. It's effective and it can be done very quickly. Again, we're using other people's money. Remember, here at Master Investor, we teach you how to the highest level of investing. We teach you how to be an inside investor. So stay tuned. Number three, finance out of cash flow. For example, if we buy a business, we can have an agreement with the seller, lender, or investor to pay them back through the cash flow that the business generates. This means we are essentially borrowing from the cash flow we expect to receive in the future. Number four, lender financing. There are many types of lenders available. This is where a mortgage or a business broker can be a valuable member of our team. The brokers know what lenders lend for which investments, and best of all, the lender pays the fees of the broker, known as assumable loans. Number five, right? So number five is assumable loans. Write it down, right? So lender financing is number four. Assumable loans is number five, right? So let me read them again to you. Number one is family and friends. Number two, seller finance. Number three, finance out of our cash flow. Number four, lender financing, right? That's the one we just went over, right? When we need, a mortgage or a business broker, right? And we always encourage here to go get smart people into our team. We gotta be the dumbest in our team. Number five, assumable loans. In real estate, a property may have a loan attached to the property, which means we can assume the existing loan. Just as if we would be taking out the original loan ourselves with little qualifying effort on our part. We must also assume the existing terms of that loan, which includes the interest rate, the term of the loan, and any other specifics. We will likely have a lower closing cost as an added bonus if we keep the same loan that the seller currently has of the property. We want to assume the loan. We can actually just take over the loan and continue managing that rental property and paying back that good debt, because we got it because it shows that it's good debt. It's paying back that mortgage, but maybe the current investor has other plans or whatever. Number six, other investors. There are many people with money but not interest, time, or expertise in finding and managing certain investments. This is very key right here. Other investors, number six, is one of my favorite because it's unlimited opportunity that we can go after here, because investors are everywhere with a lot of money, and they're willing to invest the money, and they have less specifics than any bank, but we must treat them professionally because they have a lot of money, because they're obviously sophisticated, so they know what they're doing. So as I was saying, there are many people with money but not interest, time, or expertise in finding and managing certain investments, right? So if we can prove that our investment will give the investor a good return and our team is set up, they may be willing to invest with us. Let's say we are buying a property and the bank requires us to put 25% down. We would use private lenders to raise most of all of the equity money needed for that 25%. How do we get them to invest? We will need to put together a solid investment prospectus that shows the potential of return for the investors. Bottom line, there's always money, and that's what we teach here at Master Investor, that the more financial education you have, the more money will start appearing in front of you, because it is in front of us. It is in our taxes, is in everything, is everywhere. We can minimize taxes legally if we have a company. When we have a company established, that's why we encourage you to go to our first product on our website at www.masterinvestor.education and go to a first digital product. If you don't have a company yet, let's get your company established, and so that you are on the right side of the quadrant, of the cash flow quadrant, meaning you are a business owner and you are playing with the rules of the ultra wealthy, meaning that the taxes at the end of the year can be deductible legally once we document everything successfully with a CPA and a bookkeeper, right? All the expenses that we run through our business will be business expense, and our life and everything, we run it through all the business, because we will be able to position ourselves legally. When we go to lunch, we pay it with the business card, because that will be tax free as well, or maybe 50% of taxes will come off, depends on what it is, and depends on the state in which we're in. But it is important that you understand that the tax code is built for the entrepreneurs and investors like us, because it's a package of incentives to encourage us to invest in certain things, and how to do so, and how to use debt, and just do what they want us to do, because this is a capitalist country, thankfully so, where we can live the American dream, and the government wants us to invest and wants us to obtain properties and wants us to go get loans for properties and give housing to the people, and invest in technology or invest in food supplies and things like that improve the economy and the well-being of our nation, right? So bottom line is, there's always money. It will take some time for us to figure out how to find money in a way that works best for, the particular situation, if we're starting out right now. But that doesn't matter, because we start from zero if we don't have any assets, and it's okay. We take a step, and it's all about moving forward, right? So let's do some research, right? And continue to educate ourselves on these affirmation options. But the main point I want to deliver today is that remove the words "I can't afford it" from our vocabulary. There's always money to be had, and it doesn't need to come from our own pocket. As the old saying goes, where there's a will, there's a way. Let's get creative and figure out how to solve the problem in our favor. With that being said, glad to be here on another episode, again bringing the good and bad news of money. Master Investor community will always provide the real rules of the ultra wealthy and money, giving you the history and the facts, and keeping it lucrative all the way. Take massive action. I'm going to attach the blog below. Follow us on all platforms, and if you don't have a company, get started with your company, take massive action, and start finding ways to create passive income from home. You can start making money from home today, right? $200 a day is over $7,000 per month on passive income. If we have a system selling a product for us, and that product is selling, it could be an informational product. We don't have to touch the product. We never have to see the product. We don't have to ship the product. We're going to show you how to do affiliate marketing, to how to promote other people's products that are already made for us, and we just collect on the cash flow as the customers come in and buy from the capture pages and the tools that they're already giving us to promote those products. We don't even have to have our face on there. We just have to promote it in a way that we're not even in the midst. We built the campaign and we sent 100,000 people to that offer. All right, we're going to show you how to build your asset column successful here at Master Investor. Follow us on all platforms and have a great day. Stay strong and always compound financial education. So subscribe to the channel, because if you listen to something every day, you will gain more financial intelligence, and that's key when it comes down to raising capital, because the more and the higher financial IQ we have, then we never have to use our own money to become wealthy. We get everything for free, and we are able to raise any type of money. Okay? See you and talk to you on the next one. Thank you for having me. Bye for now.